Hello there. Welcome to this episode of Force Ghost Conversations. This is your host, Anthony King, and this week I'm going to take a deep dive look into the new Ahsoka trailer. Before we get started, I'm inviting you to join the conversation with us. We can be found on Twitter and Hive at Force Ghost Pod. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok just by searching Force Ghost Conversations. Also, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on your listening site of choice. Plus, Force Ghost Conversations is live on Patreon. If you are a fan of the podcast and would like to consider pledging your support, there will be a link in the episode description for you to check out the various tiers offered. Finally, please be sure to check out our TeePublic store to buy some Force Ghost Conversations merchandise. And without further ado, it is time to gather around the campfire for some Force Ghost Conversations. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Force Ghost Conversations. And yes, we're changing it up a little bit this week. We're going back into a little bit of some Star Wars conversation for you all, as a big thing dropped this week. You may or may not have seen, but there is a brand new Ahsoka trailer that has hit the airwaves, if you will. It's on all the social media platforms, it's on the YouTube sites. I'm very excited to watch this trailer. We'll get into a bit more about all of it in the main discussion point. You all know we're going to be talking about that in a good amount of detail very soon here. But before we do that, it is time for some news in the appropriately dubbed segment Cloud City Gossip. So first, like I mentioned, a brand new trailer for Ahsoka has been released. Now, of course, we'll be discussing it on the main portion of our show today. However, you can watch it as many times as you want now on Star Wars' YouTube page. So if you listen to this episode or you follow along, you know what we're going to do in our main segment here. Afterwards, you can watch it literally a billion times if you want. By all means, go ahead and do it too, because it's a really great trailer, and I think you are just as excited as I am for the series to come out. I'm definitely looking forward to some great new Star Wars content. Additionally, we got a brand new poster for Ahsoka, along with the news that the first 2 episodes will premiere on Disney Plus on August 23rd. Yes, a double dose of Ahsoka dropping for us at once. And of course, this new poster is really cool too, featuring great Rosario Dawson, who is our live action Ahsoka right now. With her lightsaber out on display and looking very much like she's going on the offensive here, or perhaps the defensive, depending on your point of view. But nonetheless, a really cool poster, if you ask me. And personally, I cannot wait for the show to arrive and to break down each and every episode with you all here on Force Ghost Conversations, naturally. Plus, more Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures episodes will be coming to Disney Plus on August 2nd. 6 new episodes will join what has already been released earlier this year from May 4th. And I, for one, am excited about this news, as I have been a big fan of what the show has produced thus far. And so we'll definitely be covering that on the podcast as well. We've got a lot to cover on Force Ghost Conversations in the Star Wars Lucasfilm area. So once grad school is over, maybe we'll be able to do some double dosage of episodes. Who knows? Let's see what happens as time rolls. But definitely looking at you, Young Jedi Adventures, Star Wars Visions Volume 2, the brand new Disney Gallery on The Mandalorian. Of course, Ahsoka is coming up. There's a lot of things that we're going to be talking about on Force Ghost Conversations in the coming weeks. So get ready for all that stuff. Don't want to miss out for sure. Finally, Lucasfilm and Star Wars have received a combined 23 Emmy nominations for The Mandalorian, Andor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Light and Magic. So congrats to all of those who are nominated and to the amazing teams that put these shows together. Best of luck as the ceremony approaches. And that is all that I had for the news this week. Be sure to stay tuned, as we will, just on the other side of this very short break, talk about the Ahsoka trailer. So stay tuned, folks. Okay, everyone, welcome back to Forrest Goes Conversations. And yes, it is time to dive into the Ahsoka trailer, what they are dubbing as the official trailer for Ahsoka. This came out this past Monday, and full disclosure, I was at a work conference this past Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Or did it come out Tuesday? It might have come out Tuesday. I'm not exactly sure when it all came out here. It says 4 days ago on his YouTube page at the time of recording this. So I'm recording this on Saturday. So it'll be Friday, if they're not counting today's Thursday, Wednesday, perhaps Tuesday. But nonetheless, I was at a conference those couple of days, so I only got to watch the trailer once because I was so busy and packed with time. And then after a few days, I was like, I just want to wait until I'm on the podcast recording so that I can get a real fresh reaction for you all as this amazing new content hit our airwaves. But I was in my hotel room watching it, and I was blown away entirely by what was thrown onto the screen here. This is really going to be a special show. And I think a special show for a lot of reasons, right? This character means a lot to the Star Wars community. In a time post Revenge of the Sith, really another, if you will, dark times for Star Wars. I know people have called that, like, right, the post Return of the Jedi era is often referred to as the dark times, where there was really nothing, aside from the Droids TV show, the Ewoks TV show, the Ewok movies. Until the Phantom Menace, really, there's not a whole lot in the Star Wars galaxy coming out at that time. And once George's, like, the saga is concluded, 1 through 6 are done, post Revenge of the Sith, and then a couple years later, you get the Clone Wars, and out of that is the amazing character of Ahsoka Tano, who we've gone on this wonderful journey with as fans. And thankfully, Ashley Eckstein plays the character wonderfully in that series. Of course, in Star Wars Rebels 2 and Tales of the Jedi, right? This character has become such a fan favorite. It means a whole lot for not just the community at large as well, but for the female fan base as well, that they're able to see this lead, and we were able to grow with this character over time. It's just been wonderful to see this journey, how definitely the character was not among fans' top character lists and all that stuff at the beginning, and now that she has her own show, I mean, this is clearly a great journey, and the evolution of this character has been really special to watch, to be a part of in this fandom and community. So this is just an exciting time. I can't wait for this series to come out on August 23rd with, again, 2 brand new episodes. And very excited for what Dave Filoni has for us in story here. So yeah, let's talk about this trailer overall. So again, that's some of my notes there. I've only seen it once, so this is really going to be a bit more of a fresh viewing for us here. I hope you all have seen it a few times, but if not, be sure to pull up YouTube right now, because we can watch this trailer alongside each other, right? Because I'm going to be playing it. Of course, I have my headphones in, so you won't be able to hear the audio. I don't want to get flagged for any issues of copyright for the audio here. So I'm going to play it on YouTube, and I'm going to just annotate my thoughts aloud as we're going through it here. But you can follow along at home as well. So if you want to do that, pause the episode now, go straight to YouTube, search for our Ahsoka trailer. It's from 4 days ago, or 4 or 5 days ago at the time of recording this. It's on the Star Wars YouTube page. Just look, it's titled Ahsoka dash official trailer dash Disney Plus, and you'll be able to find it. And it's about 2 minutes 12 seconds. And yeah, pull it on up. We'll have it side by side here. I've got my captions on. I think I'm ready to watch this trailer. How about you all? I'm very excited to see this again, because I can already see the first image here of the shuttle going towards this lone ship out in space. So I'm ready. I'm gonna hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit play. Balin saying war is inevitable. One must destroy. Look at that. Oh, he's having his own like Vader hallway sequence here. He says, "We are no Jedi." Oh, what's this music too? That's really neat. There's Ahsoka. What is this? Oh my gosh, yeah, Thrawn, the back of Thrawn's head again, heir to the Empire. There's Shin. There's Morgan Elsbeth. What happens when you find Thrawn? Power, such as you never dreamed. What's Thrawn cooking? Ooh, no! Finally get to hear Hera talk. Yeah, there's the Spectre, Mon Mothma. Ooh, there's a mission going, and Sabine. Ooh, yeah, a little Anakin reference. What is a Sabine training sequence? Like, is she force sensitive? I mean, that's a great question. We'll have to talk later. She calls her master right here. There's Ezra. There's the hologram from the end of Star Wars Rebels. Sabine cut her hair. She clearly just chopped it all off there. Some Inquisitor battles, perhaps. Oh man, there's Thrawn. Oh yeah, does he look great? I can't wait to hear the voice in live action. Valence and Anakin spoke highly, and you get the Vader in the background too. That sound. Hu Yang, once a rebel, always a rebel. Yeah, yeah. Mm. There's that lightsaber. Oh man, the Inquisitor lightsaber just spinning. And a 2 episode premiere, August 23rd on Disney Plus. Wow, wow. So much going on there, folks. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to fully break down everything and everything, especially with what little context you actually get from this trailer here. There is a lot of Balin in this episode, right? Ray Stevenson's character, who unfortunately passed away a few weeks ago. He says, "We are no Jedi." So he's clearly not a light side character. I think we got that sense from the red lightsabers here, but what are they exactly? Are they Sith? Are they something else? What's the deal with Balin and Shin? And it seems like they're trying to get involved with Thrawn in some way, shape, or form, right? Are they maybe is Filoni kind of pulling Master um, Seabath? I hope I say that right. I can never, from the Dark Jedi from Heir to the Empire. I can never actually say his name correctly, unfortunately. But is that what they're pulling from here, or trying to enact? Is this like a rogue um, Jedi? I believe that's supposed to survive Order 66, if I'm not mistaken correctly, and it has this Padawan esque character in Shin, and yeah, I have no idea where they're going to be heading with this one. That's a fascinating concept to be exploring here, for sure. And where does Thrawn come into this angle here? Where's Ezra? Right, we got to see a little bit of that Ezra hologram from the end of Rebels season 2. Hmm. Mm, a lot to unpack there. A lot to unpack here for sure. Because of course, Balin is going to run into Ahsoka. We saw that lightsaber battle within this trailer, and he mentions like Anakin spoke highly of you. So clearly, Balin was a member of the Jedi at some point in time, at least from my reading of this trailer. And now he's no longer part of it, and technically Ahsoka's not either, right? She says I'm no Jedi, so you just have these rogue Force users going out in the galaxy kind of having this climactic battle right here. And again, um, where does this all come to play here? Morgan Elsbeth is in here. We're a little bit of what we got from the Mandalorian season 2 is starting to come back into play here. Hmm. Hmm. And then he says Anakin spoke highly of you, and then you get a little bit of that Darth Vader breathing sound, right? It's the legacy of Anakin Skywalker is literally right in front of us here. And then it got a second Anakin mention too in the conversation between Hera and Ahsoka when they're talking about Sabine, right? And then it begs the question because Sabine is like, I walked away from Sabine, I walked away from Anakin, and then she says, "How you been, Master?" When they come together again. So it's like, did Ahsoka start to train Sabine in the ways of the Force? I've seen that clip go around from Star Wars Rebels when she starts to train with the Darksaber a little bit, right? Where Kanan's kind of talking at large about the Force, right? The Force is within everybody. It's just up to us to pull from it, utilize it, etc. Right? Question about midichlorians and all that. Like, right? We all have certain degrees of midichlorians, right? How much of it do we need to be able to utilize the Force, etc.? I don't know. That's not really my place to answer right now. I think we'll have to see what really comes about as the movie, or not the movie, but it basically is a movie. The 6-part series comes across. So Sabine's clearly on Lothal. Some fallout happens at the end of post that end sequence in Star Wars Rebels where Ahsoka finds Sabine. She cuts off her hair. They're going off on this grand mission again. Something with Thrawn, something with Ezra. Hera's involved too. Once a rebel, always a rebel. The fight's not done yet. I'm going to be 100% certain we're going to get some Jason Syndulla in this too, right? The child of Hera and Kanan. A lot of Inquisitors too. I'm not sure where they fit into this matter too, in a post Empire, post Sith world, if you will. These are fantastic questions, and I'm not sure I have answers at all to this point. I'm just intrigued to see where we go with all this. I mean, some of this great scenery, the set design looks incredible. Hera looks great. I'm glad we got to hear Mary Elizabeth Winstead's voice. It's not Vanessa Marshall, but I think I can. I think we can. I think we can. Let that slide. I think she sounded great. She will be able to bring to the role very similar to what Rosario Dawson did in picking up the threads from where Ashley Eckstein did with animation, and also putting her own spin on it with this new version, not necessarily a new version of the character, but just a new interpretation of it in live action sense. Hera's trying to prevent another war. Maybe she's seeing something out there. First Order, perhaps. Remnants of the Empire. Shadow Collective. Maybe a little bit of the things that we got at the end of Season 3 of The Mandalorian with the Moff Gideon stuff. Shadow Councils. All that stuff. Captain Pelion. Perhaps this is leading more of us towards that upcoming Dave Filoni movie. This, heir to the Empire, if you will. Just incredible. And again, to see Lothal in live action, to see these Rebels characters, to literally see Ezra's hologram, to see Hera, to see Sabine and Ahsoka, to see the Ghost again, to see Huang, another character from the animated world, voiced by David Tennant, coming into live action. Chopper, of course. I completely forgot about Chopper, right? And most of all, Thrawn. Yeah, right. We get to talk a little bit about Thrawn here because we finally got to see in a clear picture what Lars Mikkelsen looks like in live action as Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, of course, the person that voiced the character in Star Wars Rebels, and now we get to see that character in full glory in live action here. I've seen, this may be something somewhat similar to the trailer that was released, or a version of that trailer that was released at Star Wars Celebration this past April, where they actually got to see basically, I think this vision or visual of Thrawn, I should say, from the front. Right, we got the back. We got to see the ears. I think that's how people guessed kind of that it was Lars Mikkelsen before he came out on stage. Right, there was some great detective work being done behind the scenes in order to determine who actually was playing Thrawn in live action. But now that's 100% confirmed. Right, it was confirmed at Celebration. Now you got to see it. You got to see the red in his eyes. It's potent. It's powerful. It's evil. It's maniacal. It's exactly what Thrawn is. I can't wait to see what this live action version again, because Lars Mikkelsen has been pretty adamant about not rewatching Rebels and trying to create something a little bit different from that, not being influenced too much by what he did before for this version of Thrawn. Be intrigued because there's something to be said about power. And that's what Baylan and Shin are trying to connect with Thrawn for, right? They're drawn to that. They're drawn to something power-wise. So it'll be very intriguing to see where this all goes on August 23rd with 2 episodes. I don't know where they're going to start with this, but I mean, you can't deny that this trailer is just very cool, great put together, right? Very well done. Gives a lot of details and nuggets about where this series is going, but yet not really giving anything away at all. I feel like we're getting hints to a world between worlds situation here. Maybe some of these temples that Ahsoka's finding. I know seeing this like hologram cloud blue thing that circulates around her. Is that world between worlds? Is it not? I have no idea. I don't know. I do know that we're going to go on an incredible ride with this, and that it's not going to be the end of the journey, because maybe we get a season 2 of Ahsoka. Maybe this is entirely related to everything that's going to be in the upcoming movie that's going to kind of bridge together The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, all these shows in the Favreau-Filoni verse, with that climactic event movie that Dave Filoni is going to be directing that should be coming out later this decade. I can't believe I'm even saying that phrase, but you never know when writers are on strike, actors are on strike. Who knows when Hollywood's going to get back into a full swing system again. So, for better or for worse, we might have some free time here on Force Ghost Conversations to really do some deep dive stuff, which I really want to do. Really want to do. So, anywho, this is a really great trailer. I'm definitely going to be watching it about a gazillion times again before the show actually comes out later in August. We're about over a month away from this series, and I cannot wait. I am so ready for everything that this show is going to offer to us as fans. And it'll be nice to just have Star Wars again. Like, I know we've gotten a lot of Star Wars actually over the last couple of months, so I'm not being ungrateful at all. But it's been a while since the Mandalorian and stuff like that we got some live action canon Star Wars for a bit here. So this is definitely something that I've been looking forward to. These big event releases on Disney Plus. We always have that conversation in our house of when do you watch it, right? Do you watch it first thing in the morning when you wake up? Do you wake up extra early on those days? Do you wait till you get home after work and try and avoid spoilers and all that stuff, right? These are the fun dances that we're going to have to be doing once more as we get to that. And also, the last thing I wanted to mention, too, what a great time to be a Mikkelsen brother, because, of course, Lars Mikkelsen is going to be debuting as Thrawn. We see him in this trailer here. And the other side of that equation, Mads Mikkelsen, his brother, is none other than Jurgen Voller, who is the main villain in Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, which we, of course, been covering extensively here on the podcast the last couple of weeks, which we will continue to do next week. We will continue back with some Indiana Jones coverage, talking a lot more spoilers and in-depth discussion over the next couple of weeks to kind of tie us into Ahsoka. So that's kind of where we're heading with the podcast over the next couple of weeks. But I want to shift the conversation over to you all. What do you think about Ahsoka? What do you think about the trailer? How do you think it's going to tie into the larger Mandalorian verse, to Skeleton Crew, to the Book of Boba Fett, etc.? All that stuff. I want to know what you're thinking at this point in time. What are you most excited about seeing? How do you think? Do you think Sabine's force sensitive? Do you think, what's the relationship like between the two of them at this point? How is that going to change over the course of the season? Right? What are we going to learn about Ahsoka that we haven't learned about before? These are fun conversations that I hope to have with you all over the next course of this week, and also as the series debuts on Disney Plus. So with that, folks, that's all that I had for this week. I want to continue the conversation with you on our social media channels. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Hive. Just search Force Ghost Conversations and you'll find us there. If you're loving the show and want to continue supporting us, please leave a rating and a review on your podcast site of choice. It allows us to beat the algorithm, if you will, and to appear on other people's podcast feeds as they're searching for things like Star Wars, Willow, Indiana Jones, Lucasfilm, all the fun things that we talk about here on the podcast on a regular basis. In addition, if you want to go beyond that and, just tell your friends about us, leave a rating or review, subscribe, of course. Those are great ways to help the show. But if you want to go a little bit further, let's say you want to wear your support of Force Ghost Conversations, be sure to hit up our TeePublic store because they're running deals all the time. You can wear you can find t-shirts, hoodies, pillows, iPhone cases, etc. There's a whole bunch of different merchandise you can buy with our Star Wars inspired logo, our Willow inspired logo, and of course our Indiana Jones inspired logo. All available on one website and marketplace merchandise dashboard for you there. So be sure to check that out if you want to support the show. That means a portion of those proceeds go to us. We really appreciate your support from that. Also, if you want more Force Ghost Conversations content, be sure to hit up our Patreon site. Just search Force Ghost Conversations. There's also a link in the episode description here where you can find out various tiers that we have available, where you can get on a monthly basis new Force Ghost Conversations goodies, extra Force Ghost Conversations goodies, including the chance to send in questions to be answered on the show, to have your name read on the podcast, to engage in different conversations over on our Patreon site, perhaps extra episodes of the podcast if you're at a certain tier. So be sure to check out our Patreon site if you want to continue to support the show even further, to allow us to grow, to continue to do more cool and innovative things in the podcast world. So if you were willing to do all that, really appreciate it. But if not, that's okay too. Glad that you're listening to the podcast and continuing to be a part of our wonderful community here at Force Ghost Conversations. So until then, folks, we'll be back next week with a brand new episode talking about Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny even further. May the Force be with you. Take care.